Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. Romeo and Juliet, William Shakespeare. Now, Shakespeare is considered to be the greatest English writer of all time. Now, he was even picked the 5th greatest Briton of all time by the BBC. He introduced more than 2,000 words into the English dictionary. He wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. His work is translated in more than 80 languages. And still, when my teacher asked my classroom who William Shakespeare was, all we could come up with was his name, Romeo and Juliet, and some of his most famous quotes. But not only classic authors are unknown, we don't know what is written and played today. And I understand, of course I understand, schools can never cover the whole history and topicality of literature and other arts in its lessons. There will always be giant leaps in the knowledge of the students, but why not use media like theater as another appliance to bring youngsters the great works of art? Now, for example, isn't it far more interesting to watch a performance of Waiting for Godot rather than to read the text in a classroom and don't understand it? Isn't it far more better to experience a modern dance act rather than to watch tiny bits on a simple beamer? And most important, isn't it our duty to pass on all great work with an historic value to a next generation? Everyone is always talking about inspiring the youth. Well, if they want to inspire us, they have to give this every possible input they have. Now, a friend of mine who wants to study medicine once asked me, Sander, why should I know Shakespeare or Beckett? Will I get better grades? And I said, no, you won't get better grades. It won't influence your math abilities or your knowledge about chemical reactions. But it will make you a better doctor or a plumber or an engineer because it will make you a better human being. Theater could teach us something about universal problems. Now, who among you ever doubted himself? I did. You did. So did Hamlet. Oedipus of Sophocles is about adultery, cheating. More and more married couples get divorced these days. The problems of today were the problems of yesterday and will be the problems of tomorrow. Yeah. Another purpose of culture could be expressing problems everyone in the room knows about, but nobody dares to say. We live in Belgium. It became independent in 1830, very good. The Belgian Revolution. Now, believe me, it sounds much more heroic than it actually was. Nevertheless, this revolution was triggered by an opera, a play on music, the Dame of Portichy. When it was performed that particular 25th of August, a certain aria about love for your country incited the crowd to start riots against King Willem I. So, apart from being educational and provocative, culture could also be very helpful for every one of us. In our lives, we must all face choices between what is right and what is easy. These choices have an influence on our lives, our future, our personality. But we're not bound to make these alone. As I said, problems are of all times. So why not try to find answers in the form of culture? Let them help you, and not only theater or poetry. No, every aspect of culture can be very helpful. Art is important. It connects people. It reaches goals which were considered to be a utopia. It is larger than life. So please, let's not see it as a luxury. Let's see it as an indispensable part of our society. We live in a Europe facing dark times. Fear is trying to conquer every heart, but remember the words of Albus Dumbledore. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, when only one remembers to turn on the light. And let that light, ladies and gentlemen, be culture.
Thank you for your speech, Sander. If someone were still to doubt the importance of culture, how would you convince them?
First of all, I would convince them to join me to come to a theater play or watch an exhibition of art. Because mostly people who think culture isn't important don't see a lot of culture. And it's not their fault that they don't see it, because maybe they were raised in a family who doesn't go to theater plays, and that happens. And secondly, I would show them all these forms of culture in the society. Like, they probably watch series, like Elias said. It's very important series. Or watch a performance by their favorite band. That's also culture. And most people think culture is only theater and poetry and all these smart people looking at these old plays. But that's not culture. Culture is everything. Standing here, performing my speech, is culture. So that's the importance of culture.
Sander, you said that culture makes you a better human being. But what about people that really don't care about culture? Does that mean they are worse human beings?
No, of course not. I have friends who don't like theater. They really don't like it. But there is a saying that says, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. It's like when your mother says, when you say to your mother, I don't like broccoli, you have to taste broccoli to know that you don't like broccoli. So people should taste culture, and if they then say, I don't like it, I don't like theater, I like another aspect of culture, like the series, like the bands, like the books they read, or something like that, that's okay for me, but you have to taste it.
Thank you.
It seems that many people are more interested in foreign cultures at the expense of their own culture. Mm-hmm. How do you explain this?
First of all, the grass is always greener on the other side. When we watch other countries, we might think, oh, that's interesting, because we're not used to it. It's like, imagine you would take a shower for the first time. That would be, whoa. But after a few times, we go in the shower like it's nothing. It's just to wash ourselves. That's the same with culture. The first time, it overwhelms you. But like when you move to another country, people think it's normal to do certain things. And that's why we're interested in other cultures. That's new. We don't know it. So that's why we're so interested in them.
Why is history such a big part of our identity? Did you hear that?
Yeah. History is such a big part of our identity because we are history. The fact that we're sitting here today is due to history. Some people made choices, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here in this form. It's like the independence of Belgium. It's because of certain decisions, and it's in our culture. We're all Belgians, or England. It's in their culture. That's history. And the fact that we care so much about history is a good thing, I think, because one of the topics here is, could storytelling teach as well as entertain? Storytelling is also a form of history and a form of culture. So that's why history and culture blend so nicely. Everyone wants to know what happened before them. And if you want to know, you can make a play about it. You can write a poem about it, even write a song about it.
How would you define Belgian culture, and how does it shape you into who you are?
Belgium is a weird country. We have the Flemish side and the French, the Walloon side. But I think it's very interesting. It's like we have two cultures we can choose from. We could learn things from each other. And I think also because Belgium is the center of Europe, some people say. So all these cultures come together. Like here today, we have people from the American embassy, the English embassy, even from Northern Ireland. That's Belgium, this mix of all cultures. And it helped me to become who I am, because due to these cultures, I love speaking English. Because there are many people in Belgium who speak English because they don't speak Dutch or French. And that's why I love Belgium so much. It's like everything you want is here. You can go to a Chinese corner in Antwerp, or go to the African site in Brussels. That's Belgium, this mix of all cultures.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.